Hey there guys, I'm Sam Whitfield and welcome to my first video review here on Periscope for technology. I'm usually more of a politics guy, but for today I decided to do a technology review. So for today we're going to do a brief review on the new iOS 9 public beta on my old iPhone this video on my iPhone 6, but I don't have the beta um, on my phone because it's the one I use every day, and Apple advises not to do betas on your primary phone, so I'm just using this old iPhone. So far I really love the iOS 9 beta. I just installed this last night, so I haven't actually had that much of a chance to play around with it. Um, but I have played around with it a little bit, and hopefully I'll be able to explore some new features with you. So anyway, let's start right off. So as you can see, we have the lock screen, and sorry about the blur here, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to follow us probably throughout this demo, and I apologize. So let me take the camera away so I can enter my passcode in real quick. Alright, so as you can see here, we have the main home screen. It looks pretty good, and just to show you that I am running the new iOS, let's go up here and go to General. Sorry, I'm having to do this with two hands, and it's very complex, or difficult, I should say. So if we go into the About tab, you will see that I am in fact running iOS 9 on here. Let's see. Yep, 9.0. That's the version. So that is the iOS. If you guys have any questions or anything in particular you would like me to take a look at, feel free to do so. So I do have version 9. Let's go, starting off, let's talk one of my favorite features on the iPhone, Siri. Now, Siri has had a major change. Instead of beeping like he or she used to, Siri is now going to vibrate, and vibrate only when you press down on the home button. And of course, my internet connection decided to go out, so bear with me for just a sec while I reconnect to the internet. Again, I apologize for these technical difficulties. Let's see. Oh, one thing I would like to mention right here, if you can see this real quick, notice that the keyboard is not in caps like it usually is. We now have lowercase keys on the keyboard. That's a brand new feature. I'll get into that a little bit later as I'm displaying notes, which we'll talk about here in just a couple minutes. folks, so we are back here. I've got my Wi-Fi now. So let's go back to Siri as I was intending. So as you can see now, Siri.
I'm not sure I understand.
Well, Siri, I haven't asked you a question yet, so of course you don't understand. As you can see though, the mic icon for Siri has changed a little bit, and so will the wave line. So let me ask Siri a question about sports, because apparently Siri knows sports now. When do the Denver Broncos play next?
The Broncos Seahawks preseason game is August 14th, 2015 at 10 p.m.
And it should be noted that Siri responded to that a lot quicker. Now let's try a different one. Siri's also gotten very good at music, from what we understand. So I'm going to ask this question. Play the top song from June of 1983. And apparently it was a song called Flashdance. Which I didn't know. Again, I just picked this at random. So Siri is doing a lot better at answering questions. Let's go in depth with Apple News real quick, shall we? This is actually one of the things I really want to dive into here. Apple News, at the keynote, they presented this as a brand, as basically, Apple presented this as basically the brand new news service where you can read news articles from different sites, all from the ease of your own phone. And right now, it's basically just an Apple version of Flipboard, as far as I can tell. There's not really anything that great about it right now, except that the text does flow a little bit better. So I've got this article from Reuters. Even though websites are optimized now, most news websites are, they're not really integrated all that well. So as you can see, the topography is has stayed pretty much clear. Same with photos, and now if you can tap the photos, there's a little caption. There is only one glitch with that, which is that sometimes the text doesn't scroll all the way, so it looks like I did find a glitch there, but I'll report that to Apple. Let's see, what other features? Do you guys have any feature requests that you guys would like me to review in regards to Siri? One thing I do want to go in depth with is the new search bar. Now this is great. I really like how they've really managed to clean up this search bar. Because in my opinion, the search bar was always one of those things that Apple never really got right. When they first introduced it way back when on the first iPhone, it really didn't do all that much in terms of, like, you were just able to search basically for the music on your phone. Then as the years went on, they really started to integrate more things like Google, and then most recently they've integrated it working with the App Store. But it's always kind of been hidden away. It's not really that prominent of a feature. Most people I know don't really use this search. But but I gotta tell you, after seeing this update, I really love what they've done. So now you have Siri suggestions, and Siri will give you suggestions for the most recent contacts you've reached out to, the most recent apps you've reached out to, and because it's lunchtime, Siri will recommend places to grab lunch, places to grab coffee, diners, gas stations. In the morning, it'll kind of have that rearranged. Also, tying back in with the news app, Siri will show the most recent headlines of the day from the Apple News app. You can also search, and so let's search for this. What is the Apple stock quote for today? Okay, there is a little bit of a bug there too. It was supposed to come up, as I understand it. It's supposed to come up as soon as you search for that. But anyway, I guess I'll have to do that manually. And obviously it's still not doing it. So that's a tiny glitch. But nevertheless, like I said, there are still some glitches. I also found another glitch, which is, I don't know if you can see this, but the keyboard just shrunk down a ton once I deleted that line. So we have yet another glitch. But anyway, so that's the navigation. Going into Safari, they've said that they're going to do a whole bunch of changes, but so far I really can't tell a difference between the Safari browser in iOS 8 and the new browser in iOS 9. The browser changes as of right now are really non-existent. Maybe that's for a reason. Maybe I'm not supposed to notice them. But just to kind of show you, I guess, Safari for right now, let's go to one of my favorite blogs, which is theartofmanliness.com. Great guys over there. So we have the Art of Manliness, and one thing that Apple brought up is that as you're reading and scrolling, the website bars are supposed to completely disappear. As they do, you don't see them on the bottom here. But I don't really see how that's an improvement, because I don't think they were there on the last one. So let's go to this article, asking a woman on the date, call or text. The one thing I will say is that when you're connected to Wi-Fi, browsing the internet is a lot faster on iOS 9, and that is really good. Now, one thing I did notice too, and I've noticed this on a couple of sites where I read the blogs, they've now gotten rid of the ability to pull up the reader feature. Usually on the top corner of the bar, like right around here in this area, there's a little line of text where you can push in, kind of have it read the text to you, and they obviously haven't integrated that into iOS 9. Not a huge deal on websites like this, where everything is full integrated, but I would like to see that integrated in the final product. So we will go back there. And let's see, I already showed you Apple Music. Let me show you Notes real quick. Notes is actually a really exciting thing that they've improved upon. You now have the ability to really, Notes is more than just a note-taking app. Now it's a place where you can also integrate full text, and it's actually kind of like a mini word processor without the whole formatting thing, which I think is good. You can now have headers. So let's see. Let me swap hands here. And this is what I'm talking about with the keyboard. Pay attention for a sec as I type in my name here, and this is kind of difficult since I'm not actually looking at my keyboard. I'm looking at the keyboard through the phone. Okay, see as I type my name here, the keyboard text has shrunk a little bit. Then when I capitalize it, it goes back into capital mode. Not sure how I feel about this, to be quite honest. I get why they're doing it, but it seems like on a phone, at the very least, having all capital letters, especially on a display as small as the iPhone 5, it seems to me that unless you're looking at it super close, that some letters might be harder to see than others. I don't know. Okay, so that's my little line of text. Now, if I want to, I can change the style of this. I can bold it. I can do more formatting things like adding a title. So I should actually probably go and add a title, and so since we're going to do that, I'm going to give this an actual heading, and I'm going to change that and type in Periscope demo. So we have that. Now I've changed the heading. Now it's gone back to body. So that's cool. Now I can add a photo, either from my library, or I can take one directly and insert it. Let's see what I have here in photos. Going into my camera roll, I'm going to take this picture I have of myself because I really like it. So I've inserted that. And just for further measure, there is also a feature where I can now draw. And I have not actually used this before. But yeah, I can scroll, I can doodle, I can do a marker, and I can do now a really fine lined pencil. I can measure it. There's an eraser, and this is just a really cool thing to be able to draw. And then now it's in there. I can flip that, and what do you know? I actually have that inserted into my drawing. Not really all that great, but it works. So that's the those are the demo notes. Now, as far as the camera itself goes, let's see here. Supposedly there are a whole bunch of new, supposedly there are more features coming in, a couple new filters for the camera, but as far as I can tell right now, there isn't really any sort of changes coming from the camera at this point in time, so nothing there, but I'm sure we'll see it at some point. So, and then the only other big change I can think of, and really on the iPhone 5, it's not really that much of a thing. It's the fact that they changed the name of Passbook from Passbook to Wallet. So that's the only big change I can think of. And now finally, for the moment you've all been waiting for, multitasking. Now, Apple has had a very interesting thing happen with multitasking. They've kind of redesigned it on iOS 9. At first, when I was playing around with this last night, I didn't really like it. I thought it was kind of strange. But now I actually do like it, and I'll explain why here in just a minute. Okay, so now we have all these windows open. I'm going to want to close out my thing, and I really like this because it kind of, if you look closely, you can kind of see them all stacked upon one another, and so I can just flick up and swipe them, or I can flip back to the one I want to get to, and it labels them clearly here on top. And there you have it. So, like I said, as far as right now, those are really all of the features in iOS. I would demonstrate for you some of the new phone capabilities if I could, but as I said, this is an older phone, and obviously I don't have a service. But anyway, there are a couple flaws that I do want to point out here. One of them I'll actually tell you right now is one that I do have a problem with, and that's Siri isn't really good at taking commands yet, and I'll show you what I mean. When I installed the release of iOS 9, my Bluetooth was automatically turned on when I rebooted my phone, and so usually what I do to turn Bluetooth on and off is I usually just ask Siri to do that. But when I did that, Siri didn't respond. Let me show you what I mean. Turn on Bluetooth.
Okay, I turned on Bluetooth.
Now, Siri says that he turned on Bluetooth, and on my phone I have Siri as a guy. You'll see here it says content not available, and if you notice, right here, my Bluetooth is actually turned on either. So let's see if this problem occurs for some of the other basic functions. Turn on Do Not Disturb.
Okay, I turned on Do Not Disturb.
See, again, Do Not Disturb is not on, but Siri is saying that Do Not Disturb is on. This may be intentional, I'm not sure, but it is kind of a glitch, and I do like to use...
Seems like I cut you off. Can you please repeat that?
Nothing, Siri.
Okay.
So, as you can see, there are a couple of glitches, mainly in the Siri department, and I know that a lot of people don't actually use Siri, so this may not be a big deal for them, but I do. The third-party applications, I haven't really used any on here, mainly because I mainly use my 6 for most of my everyday things, but so far, I haven't had trouble running any things here on my device. So anyway, folks, I want to thank you for watching my Periscope. This is the first video review I've actually done on Periscope, and when the next update comes, I will have another video of it for you guys to watch. So without further ado, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.